While it's great to explore unique ideas and fresh approaches, sometimes certain movies end up being a little too crazy to be true. Of course, the end result isn't always necessarily bad, but there are some movies that have you scratching your head as to how they ever got greenlit in the first place, solely due to how outright nuts they sound. So with that in mind, I'm Andrew from What Culture, and here are 10 movies so crazy they shouldn't exist. Number 10. Ghost Shark. Of course, we've seen a whole bunch of ludicrous shark movies over the years, ranging from the Mega Shark films, to the Sharknado franchise, to the multiple-headed Shark Attack series, and plenty more. When it comes to the most bizarre of the lot though, a few can match the sheer ridiculousness of Ghost Shark. Premiering straight to Sci-Fi in 2013, this movie does exactly as it says on the tin, as in people are tormented by a shark that's, well, a ghost. Not just that, but this spectral shark isn't simply restricted to the ocean, oh no, it's capable of appearing wherever there is water, meaning some of the deaths here happen at a car wash, a water cooler, and not even a toilet is safe. And I like me a safe toilet. How did this supernatural shark come to be, you might ask? Why, a murdered shark's corpse floated into a cave that had once upon a time been laced with voodoo magic. As such, the shark is resurrected as a vengeful, bloodthirsty ghost. Number 9. Batman Ninja. The Dark Knight sent back in time to feudal Japan due to a psionic genius gorilla, and with magnificent anime character designs from the creator of Afro Samurai, Batman Ninja is the best kind of crazy. Courtesy of the nefarious Gorilla Grodd, Batman and his supporting players are sent to an ancient Japan ruled by the ever-erratic Joker, because he's always there. Wherever Batman is, it's always a Joker, of course. Not to mention there's a slew of other familiar villains who are also along for the ride, as our heroes try to return to their own timeline. Unlike certain other unique animated Batman movies, such as the Batman vs Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film, Batman Ninja was not based on any existing comic book, instead actually being later adapted as its own manga, and it's all just gloriously nuts. Number 8. Butt Boy. Not only is Butt Boy completely crazy, it also has zero right to be as good as it actually is. Focuses on Chip, a fella who develops an addiction to sticking things up his backside, starting with small items, then leading to bigger ones, and even animals and children. Elsewhere, there's Russell, a cop certain that Chip's rectum is responsible for the disappearance of a young boy. But obviously, he has a tough time convincing his superiors of this insane reality. A dark comedy that plays like a thriller, Butt Boy delivers its craziness with a straight face, resulting in a genuinely tense cat and mouse story that somehow, some way is a gripping, intense movie. Number 7. Dead Sushi. Forget Attack of the Killer Tomatoes, Dead Sushi goes one better and features killer sushi that most certainly bite back. Keiko is a failed sushi chef, you see, and she runs away to start a new life after not being able to live up to her legendary sushi chef father. We've all been there, and before you know it, Keiko has to battle demonic, toothy sushi in a movie that feels like trauma made a Sonny Chiba film. There's great fight scenes, a solid amount of gore, plenty of slapstick, and even a sushi sex scene. But that's to be expected from director Noboru Iguchi, a porn director who transitioned into mainstream film with the likes of Robo Geisha and Zombie Ass Toilet of the Dead. Dead Sushi may be a smidge over the top, but its craziness totally works. Number 6. Titan. Yes, it's the film about a woman shagging a car and getting impregnated by it. That's the very loose surface level premise of Titan, though the movie's a whole lot better than that basic description would suggest, and also a whole lot stranger. As a child, Alexia was involved in a car crash that resulted in her having a titanium plate in her skull, and in adulthood, Alexia develops a fondness, should we say, for cars. Plus, she's become a serial killer, and making things even more bonkers, Alexia pretends to be the long-lost missing son of a total stranger. On paper, this all sounds absolutely insane, and it is, but that insanity is handled in such a delicate, thoughtful way that you can't not be impressed by Titan's ambition, creativity, and its total commitment. Number 5. Freddy Got Fingered. 5 Golden Raspberry wins should indicate how the Tom Green written, Tom Green directed, Tom Green starring Freddy Got Fingered turned out. Given the success of the Tom Green show, you can understand why 20th Century Fox wanted Green to headline a comedy movie. But someone, somewhere should have pulled the reins in on the project and not allowed Green to pretty much have creative control, with Freddy Got Fingered being Green's worst instincts turned up to 11, including the scene where Green literally masturbates a horse for real. Yes, for real. No props, no special effects, not even a glove. Just Tom Green's very real hand on a very real horse's penis. As for what the plot is here, Green's struggling cartoonish Gord and his troubled relationship with his father is meant to mirror the comedian's own struggles to make it in the comedy world. And as for the title, Gord wrongly believes his father molested his younger brother, which is itself pretty crass and tasteless. Number 4. Taxidermia. Some will find 2006 Hungarian film Taxidermia to be a thematic, thought-provoking masterpiece, while others will see it as trash designed solely for the wanky chin strokers out there. Either way, Taxidermia is nothing if not memorable and full of WTF moments. On a basic level, the film tells the story of 3 generations of men. A perverted World War II soldier we see having sex with a dead pig, yep, that's a thing. His son, who's a dangerously obese speed eater, and the speed eater's son, who's a painfully thin loner who enjoys performing taxidermy on himself. Dark comedy, surreal drama, body horror, a satirical retelling of history, Taxidermia is certainly something. What that something is up to each viewer to decide for themselves. Number 3. Titanic II. 100 years later, lightning strikes twice. That was the tagline for 2010's Titanic II. Despite the title and all it implies, Titanic II isn't actually a sequel to the James Cameron movie that took home 14 Academy Awards and over $2 billion at the box office. Instead, Titanic II sees the 100th anniversary of the Titanic's doomed maiden voyage marked by the launching of the Titanic II vessel, a vessel that goes the reverse route of the original ship, setting sail from New York to Southampton, England. In case you hadn't guessed, Titanic II is of course from those folks over at The Asylum, the production company responsible for such classics as Abraham Lincoln vs. Zombies, The Da Vinci Treasure, Nazis at the Center of the Earth, Snakes on a Train, Transmorphers, and obviously the Sharknado franchise. With a ham-fisted message about global warming, this low-budget effort throws a tsunami in along with giant ice glaciers as the Titanic II runs into a similar fate to its predecessor. The CGI rendered effects are awful, the acting painful, and the film solely exists to capitalize on the success of something else, which as seen over the decades is pretty much par for the course when it comes to The Asylum. Also par for the course for The Asylum is that Titanic II got its own sequel in 2022 with Titanic 666, which sees a third Titanic vessel terrorized by ghosts. Yes, that really is a thing. Number 2. Zardas. Oh, Zardas, the film that was made after John Boorman failed in adapting The Lord of the Rings, and at a time when Sean Connery was looking to distance himself from James Bond. According to Boorman himself even, no studio actually wanted to make Zardas. Well, until the director's agent strong-armed a gullible 20th Century Fox executive into giving the green light. Set in the post-apocalyptic future of 2293, Zardas has a landscape where the barbaric brutals worship an ancient stone head thing, that'd be Zardas, that's secretly being used to manipulate their behavior by the elitist Eternals. Also, it has Sean Connery in a red diaper, knee-high boots, and a ponytail and moustache, if that's your thing. So you've got a film no studio initially wanted to touch, with a gibberish plot, and a Sean Connery desperate to do something totally opposite to 007, which this certainly was, and it was also certainly a stinker. Number 1. Orgasmo. From South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone, one could understand why Orgasmo may have been given the go-ahead once South Park became a pop cultural phenomenon, but that the movie was greenlit before South Park had even premiered is quite remarkable. As for the film itself, Orgasmo is a decent comedy with a few great gags and a few not so great gags, but it's the film's bizarre concept that makes it stand out from the pack. You see, the titular Orgasmo is a superhero character in an adult movie, and when sleazy porn director Max Orbison, that's Max with 3 X's because of course it is, when Max finds his perfect Orgasmo in Joe Young, a Mormon with exceptional martial arts skills, Orbison manipulates Joe into starring in this skin flick under the belief that the salary will pay for Joe's upcoming wedding. In the in-movie Orgasmo film, our hero has Choda Boy as his sidekick, with the two fighting crime with the Orgasmerator, which is a ray gun device that delivers an orgasm to whoever it's fired at. When Ben, the genius-minded actor who plays Choda Boy, reveals he's made a real-life Orgasmerator, Orgasmo and Choda Boy soon become real superheroes protecting their local neighborhood and fighting a good fight against the underhand Max Orbison. Still with me, hopefully, and to think that description is merely the tip of the iceberg when it comes to the crazy nature of Orgasmo.